Hey, what's up, family? It's your brother Kevin, and here's Davina. We are speaking to life with the Browns, and welcome to another video.
Yeah, welcome. So, this is going to be another transparent video, I believe. So, to be honest with you, there were moments in my life when I genuinely thought I had missed God, or somewhere along the lines, I had misinterpreted the dream, or made the wrong choices, perhaps waited too long, stayed in a relationship that I should have got out a lot sooner. But here's the thing, what I didn't realize at the time, because it didn't feel like it, it didn't look like it, God was actually working behind the scenes, right? Quietly and precisely. He was connecting all the dots that I could not see, that we could not see.
Yeah.
But it became evident later on.
And the truth is, he was actually doing it for the both of us, even before we even met each other.
Even before we even met each other. Mm-hmm. You know, we was talking about a number of things, even this morning, like, wow, that was God. That was God. That was God. Yeah. That was God. There's so many dots. Yeah. So many dots.
Yeah. And that's amazing. So in this video, we're going to share a few things that you'll be able to see how God was really connecting those dots.
He was really connecting the dots.
Yeah.
So do you want to start?
Yeah, I will. So I just want to tell you guys a little something about me. As you noticed in the videos, I was talking about me going through divorce and things like that, and I mentioned one thing. Well, I mentioned a lot of things, but
Kevin said he doesn't talk a lot.
I'm telling you, I really don't, family. I don't.
Tell the people the story.
So. I mentioned this one thing about me when I was talking to the Lord and I got served the divorce papers, and I mentioned something to God and I said, Lord, my heart is broken and I need you to heal my heart. And I felt like he told me, he said, good, I'm going to heal your heart. So
before you get there though, do you reckon you could tell like the people, like where was your heart? What was the condition of your heart for you to even recognize that you needed heart healing?
My heart was broken. I mean, I got served divorce papers. I was married for 20 years. I've been with the ex-wife for over 30 years. I think it was about 33 years total in between or what have you, because we basically grew up together. And I would have thought that this would have never ended. You know, I thought this was it. This, you know, I didn't see anything changing from there. But that thing really broke me down. It broke me to a point where I was like lost. I was lost and gone. I didn't know what to do. I was so confused. I was so out there. And it was like, Lord, I need you to help me. I need help. I need you to heal my heart. My heart is so broken. And it was like, it's like I got hit by a big truck, and it was like I couldn't get picked back up, and it was a season of me feeling like everything was taken from me. Like I felt like everything was so gone from me, and I didn't know what to do. And right then and there, I started abiding in God and going to Him. There was a point where I felt like I should have handled it. I could have done it on my own. But I went to Him. I went to Him. And I told Him I needed my heart to be healed because it was broken. I think it was at that point, babe, when I humbled myself. I became vulnerable, and I allowed myself to be vulnerable instead of trying to be the man and suck it up and just go about. No. This wasn't a time to be that guy. This was a time to rest in my God, my Father, and go to Him because I needed Him so bad. It was one of those moments. And you know, going to talk to Him and having that conversation with Him brought to my attention, dude, you need God for this. There's no medicine, no books to read, there's nothing else that's going to be able to help you. Mm-hmm. You need God. You need God. And since I'm already saved, and it's like all this stuff going on, I go back to him because I'm like, I know him. I know that I'm going to be safe. I'm going to be safe. If I can go and pour myself out, I'm going to be safe. So that's where I just had a real talk. I had a real talk because I had a real life situation. So from that point on, he began to work with me and help me, and that's where I came to the group. I went to Facebook and I came to the group, and that's where I saw heart healing. After I said that, and I signed up for the heart healing. And so after I signed up for the heart healing, I started going through the sessions, and I remember the session. He was telling me what to do, and he said, just close your eyes. We're going to go to this, and we prayed first, and then we went into the session, and I remember closing my eyes, and he was like, just tell me, what do you see? And I saw my great auntie who raised me, and I saw her in this field, and it was very beautiful. It was a field, it was flowers and things like that, and it was peaceful. I mean, and she was just there. She was there. It was so peaceful, and I was like, wow, this is good. And then he said, tell me, what else do you see? And then I seen her walking, and then all of a sudden, this something else tried to interrupt. I don't know what it was, but it was almost like it was trying to darken a little bit, and I was like, something else. It moved out of the way. I don't know what it was. It just moved out of the way, and it started to be more peaceful. Then she was gone, and it was just me in the field. Then I saw another image, and I feel like it was Jesus there telling me he's with me, because it felt like I was by myself, but I wasn't by myself. And when she was gone, it was just me in the field and this other image, and it was so peaceful. It was quiet. It was just wonderful. And from there, it was joy every morning for me. It was like I woke up feeling so much joy, so much full of the Lord. It was just amazing. And then all of a sudden, these birds start showing up, But that heart healing session did so much for me. It showed me peace. I got peace out of it. I got so much joy out of it. And he also showed me how to love people. He showed me how to forgive. He showed me how to walk in newness of life. I mean, that heart healing session was amazing.
No, it sounds amazing.
It was amazing.
Yeah. And I think for me, like how he led me even to be in the same group as Kevin at the same time, and we're going to get into that later on in the video. But as I've shared so many times on these videos, this for me started when he gave me the dream back in 2014. So I got born again in 2012, but it was in 2014 he showed me in a dream. It was vivid. It was real. I know it was real because the only thing that stopped me from seeing that it was actually real in the sense of that moment was the fact that I woke up. But I remember when I woke up out of that dream, I was like, Lord, what was that? That was the most real dream I have ever experienced. And in that, I saw with clarity this person, this man. He came to my door, he rang the doorbell, and with him, he had a suitcase with him. He had a mobile device of some description with him. And he had an American accent. And there's a number of factors. He had hair on his head. I remember that. I made a note of it. He was smiling. He was happy. He was saying hello to the neighbors. I remember all of this. And I was like, I woke up from that dream and I was like, Lord, what was that?
You know what's funny? Because when I came here, Davina was like, when I first came here, we was going out. She was taking me places, and I was walking down the street, and I was like, "Hey, everybody, hello!" I was speaking to people out loud. She's like, "You loud."
Anyhow. So yeah, in that dream, it was like, wow, what was that? And I remember vividly, God said to me, He said, "Wait," and it was just a it was a wait. He didn't tell me wait for how long. He didn't give me a time. He didn't give me a date. He didn't give me anything. Now, as I've shared before, at the time I was talking to somebody who was British born but American raised, so they had an American accent. But this person, he wasn't born again. I knew him before I got born again, and he was miserable. He was miserable. There wasn't anything about him. And I think that's why I made a note of it in my dream, because the character and the demeanor of the person in my dream was so opposite to this guy. But I was like, maybe God's going to do a work on this guy's heart. Maybe that's what's going to happen. I know he's not yet born again, but this is the American guy that I'm currently talking to. There was one before him when I was living overseas, but now here was another. And I was like, this must be him. But then about a week or so later, maybe a couple of weeks later, whenever it was, God gave me another dream on which he had written down this person's name and their telephone number, and he had crossed it out. Somebody had crossed it out on the post-it note, and underneath they'd written the number 820. Now, I'm not going to get into the number 820 in this dream, but know that the number 820 is important to the entire story, right? And this is just showing how God knows the end from the beginning. So if you're tempted to doubt in your heart concerning something that God is showing you or the future that he has for you, know that he knows the end from the beginning, right? And so when I saw that, I was like, I knew my husband was coming. I just didn't know when he was going to get here. So as I shared previously, it was in 2019 that I went to America, and there was a series of events that led me to believe that, I ended up meeting somebody at a church conference over in America. Now, there was a series of events that led me to believe that this was the person. It had to be the person, because what are the chances? He's American. I met him in church. An opportunity had opened up that allowed me to go. Somebody had somewhat prophesied over me the day before and said, I see you with somebody, holding somebody's hands, coming back to the conference. I was like, this has to be the guy. So when I got involved in that, and then, we started talking after I came back, and then something happened. He said something. I believe we shared it in our last video. And that should have been a red flag for me, but it wasn't. And I proceeded to lead myself down a pathway of disappointment that was leading me down to disappointment, because I wanted this to work so badly, but it led to disappointment. But here is the thing. God's word is true. When he says what he says it because he means it, not because we prove it in our experience, but because he said it. And so even though he gave me the dream, and then that dream, my hope in that dream led to a pathway of disappointment, God's not the author of confusion. And in this, once we start connecting the dots, hopefully you'll begin to see how God has been and is always intentional right from the beginning. He is seeking for us to gain clarity. He wants us to have clarity and not confusion. So although many things didn't make sense to me at the time, I now look back and see, oh, wow, Lord, you are way better than I thought you were. Like, even when we mess up or we make the wrong choices, or it makes it look like we're going in the wrong direction, he is able to bring us back into perfect alignment with him and his promises.
Yeah. So if you think about it, both of us was drawn to this 100X group in moments in our lives where we were having some heart issues, having to deal with some things with our hearts, right? I got drawn to the 100X group because I asked God for heart healing, and on top of that, I asked him for wisdom, right? So when I saw on Facebook this ad for heart healing, on the back, right after I asked God that I need him to heal my heart, I go on Facebook, and boom, here's this heart healing. And Pedro is talking about heart healing sessions. And I'm like, oh my God. I said, I want this. And then he started talking about wisdom. And I said, wow, this is amazing. This is crazy. And so I clicked the link. And it has something on there about if you want the heart healing sessions, whatever, if you're one of this many people, you'll get free heart healing sessions and all this other stuff. So I clicked it. I clicked everything they had. I clicked. And the thing about it, when Sister Mama Suzette was talking about go to the group, going to the group, or what have you. So I go into the group and I'm seeing all these people. So Sister Mama has a video she had put out in the group and telling everybody to go live, right? Now, previously, I used to go live on Facebook a lot because I used to just have people on, had like entrepreneurs and business owners, things like that, I used to just ask them to show me what they do. And we just go on Facebook and I just do lives with them, or I record it and I'll just put it out there just to help them in their business or what have you. So I was already prepared to go live. But the thing I wasn't prepared was to meet Davina in the same group at the same time when we both going through something in our lives. But yeah, that's how we end up coming together, is because of this group. It's crazy.
Because it's funny, you were used to going live. I wasn't used to going live. That was not my thing. I didn't even post pictures on social media of myself. I've shared before, it's like I realize now that it was partly because I felt ashamed or embarrassed or even less than, because it's like, what am I going to post? Everybody else is posting pictures of, them getting married, them having children, them doing this. I wasn't doing anything of that. My life didn't exhibit any of that. So for me to be posting, I was like, what am I posting about? But as I've shared before, when I joined this group, and as Kevin said, Suzette Adeo, she was like, go live, tell people what you're learning, what you're gaining, just tell them about your day, tell them about you. And I remember the first time I heard her say it, that wasn't the first time she had said it. That was the first time I heard her say it. And in that, my response internally was like, I don't know who you're talking to, lady, but that will never be me. I'm not posting anything on there. And so it was like, I think the next day when I heard the Holy Spirit in the voice of Mama Suzette, and it said, go live. And I said, no, I'm not going live. There's no way. And so I dismissed it that whole day. The very next day, again, here was the voice. As soon as I opened my eyes, go live. I was like, Lord, I don't want to. I think it went on for about 3 days. I finally got to the third day and said, I'm okay. I said, okay, I'll go live to get you off my back. I'll go live to get you off my back. And it was at that point I was like, I'll do it when I get home from work. And I heard the Holy Ghost and he said, no, you will do it now. Right? So anybody who's out there and you're thinking that, God's going to ask you to do something uncomfortable. Yeah, there's a potential that he's going to ask you to do something uncomfortable. But hopefully through our story, through that uncomfortability and doing something new and doing something that you're not used to, God's trying to get us to something. He's connecting the dots. And that me going live was actually the thing that enabled Kevin to see me, so that when he eventually saw those videos at the right time in the right season, he had a whole bunch of videos to go back and watch. Because once I went live that one time, God told me to do it for 30 days. I did it for another 30 days. It was painful. I'm not going to lie. It was painful. And then I stopped. And then when I stopped, he came back to me. He said, Davina, you've gone back into hiding. So this was all about him bringing me out of hiding. He said, you've gone back into hiding. Do it again. So by the time Kevin came to see me the way that he saw me in September 2022, he had at least 60 odd videos to go back and watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the crazy thing about it is, when God does things, and like she said, it'll be uncomfortable, but it's not uncomfortable to where you feel like God is making you do something. It's actually he's leading you to do something, and it's not out of pressure. He's gonna do it in peace, even though it feels comfortable to you.
Yeah, uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. But it's gonna be led. His leading is peaceful.
Yeah, it's a stretch.
It is a stretch because it's new. And then we forcing ourselves against him at the same time, because the Venus kept telling us, no, I ain't doing nothing. I'm not doing it. He like, all right, let me just calm your bridges. Just come on, you can do it. You can do it. See how that was? All right then, Lord. I guess I'll do it. I guess I'll do it today when I get home.
He said, okay. I'll do it today after I get home from work.
He said, no, you're going to do it now.
You can do it now. And I was
why? Why? Why am I going to do it now?
It wasn't even a why. It was like I was like, Lord, if I do it now, I'm going to be late for work. He said, that's exactly what he said.
means do it now. Like, what are we waiting on? Let's go. Do it now. And it's funny because how all this stuff happens, none of this stuff is by accident. None of it is by accident. It's straight ordained. Just his leading, his steps. He's connecting. He's doing everything. Even though where we are previously, where we're going to end up, we don't know.
Yeah, because check it. What are the chances?
What are the chances?
What are the chances that I have a dream in 2014 of an American man coming to my front door with a suitcase, who is jovial, has hair on his head, and then, 9 years later, 8 years later, he leads us both into the same group, knowing full well that Kevin was now going to be going through the process of like being served a divorce and going through a process of being divorced. I'm now in a place where it's like, I'm now coming out of a relationship that I should never have been in. And then he leads us both into the same place. He tells me to come out of hiding, do these videos. He puts me in front of Kevin. Kevin sees these videos. And now Kevin's like telling him, I don't want to be alone. And then he's like, there's somebody, like, what are the chances? And the dream ties it all together, because the dream shows us that he knew way back when. He knew. He knows. He knows us. He knows you. He knows everything about you. He knows your story. Mm-hmm. He knows.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That is crazy.
But it's awesome.
Yeah. Because back then he already knew the dates and the times I was going to get served. He knew he knew that this group was happening. He knew he gave you the dream. He didn't give me the dream. He just said, Kevin, I already know you're going to come.
But he did tell you that
this is one thing. He did let me know that I was not going to be where I was.
Yeah, he was letting you know ahead of time, Kevin, you're going to be moving somewhere.
Yep.
And he didn't tell you where. He didn't tell you when, but he let you know ahead of time, this is not where you're going to be forever.
Yeah, he sure did.
Yeah. And this is what, God is so good, people. God is so good. I am telling you, there are so many more dots to our story. If we was begin to break that, in fact, we're going to be breaking down all the dots in various videos, in various forms and ways. But you're going to see, God is intentional. But I just want you to know this, that if you are watching this video and you happen to be in a season where nothing seems to be making sense, we just want you to know that God is working. He's already worked it out. Jesus said it is finished. It's past tense. But know that in our lives right now, we are seeing what is already done unfold. God is on your side. He is working this thing out. It's like, so know that God is working. When I say he's working, understand he's already worked it out. It is finished, past tense. Jesus said it is finished. But us in our real lives, like as we go through the process of time, we are seeing what has already been finished in present time. So to us, it's working. To him, it's finished. Do you understand?
Yeah. Wow,
that's so cool. So even though it doesn't feel like it right now, sometimes the dots only connect in our ability to understand later. It's with hindsight that we look back and we're like, whoa, hold up a second. What just happened? What just happened?
Yeah, that's nuts. And you know what? And if you don't want to process this season that you're in alone, guess what? The Wednesday Circle is open. It's a private space where we kind of slow things down for you and we listen to God together. Yeah, it's no pressure. If it ain't for you, you'll know.
And if it is for you, you'll know that too.
Amen. So we thank you guys so much for watching and tuning into this video. We have new ones coming out each week, and we will see you on the next one.
Love you guys.
Love you. Goodbye.